The movie begins, plunging us directly into the endless depths of the ocean, where a vast research base is quietly operating. It was as if a person had entered the very heart of the ocean, crossing a limit they should never have dared to step over. This base was so deep that eternal darkness reigned here. Not a single ray of the sun could penetrate this far, even after centuries of wandering. Right in the middle of this cold darkness, this was the place where 316 individuals were living their lives. And this base was built so that valuable minerals could be extracted from the deepest parts of the ocean, the Mariana Trench, which is 11 kilometers deep. No one had any idea that there were some unknown creatures in these depths who were hiding in the shadows and waiting for them. Now the scene shifts inside the base. There was a strange silence in the entire corridor. The light bulbs were flickering like a dying breath, as if the countdown for the coming destruction had begun. There we see Nora, a member of this base. Nora says in a hushed voice that, when you live in the depths of the ocean for months, you do not even know whether it is day or night. You do not even hear the heartbeat of time. She says that sometimes there is so much restlessness that the difference between dreams and reality starts to disappear. Meanwhile, the lights of the entire base start shaking strangely. Nora slowly puts on her jacket and steps out of the washroom. Then she sees drops of water falling from above. This scene freezes her from the inside because the pressure of water at this depth is so monstrous that it can crush even the bones of a human body in an instant. Nora doesn't understand anything until the next moment, when the heavy walls of the base crack open and the water of the ocean breaks inside. Nora runs to the other corridor with all her strength. She wakes up the crew members who are sleeping. Everyone runs after her screaming. They somehow reach the other section, but the door is not able to be locked. Nora quickly opens the panel and starts fixing the wiring. Then she sees some crew members running towards her. Nora shouts at them to run faster. But the water of the ocean was so cruel that they do not reach the gate. One of her colleagues begs Nora to close the door right now. Nora shakily presses the button and the gate closes with a bang at the last breath of time. Some of her colleagues' painful screams suddenly become silent forever. The atmosphere calms down after a while, and Rodrigo whispers when he regains consciousness that an earthquake must have occurred. Nora tries to contact the control room, but on the other side there is only silence, like death. The contact was completely broken. At the same time, a heart-pounding sound is heard, as if a huge object outside the base is scratching the walls of the water-flooded station. Nora and Rodrigo immediately head towards the escape pod chamber. Every part of the base now looked like a battlefield. There was metal everywhere, and blue sparks from the short circuit were tearing through the darkness. They go to the server room to fix the broken communication system. At that moment, the same sound echoes nearby. Now they begin to doubt that this is not an ordinary earthquake. Nora checks the data on the system and finds out that the base is almost scattered. Only a few parts are left, which are somehow holding together. Nora and Rodrigo move forward towards the escape pod. Now there was thick darkness in the base. They both move forward between the flooding water and the scattered machines. Suddenly, someone's weak voice comes from behind. "Help!" Nora turns around and sees that her companion Paul is lying there. They pull him out together. Now the three escape towards the pod. The path is so narrow that they have to crawl on the ground. Nora was at the front. Suddenly, a dead girl's face appears in front of her. Her eyes were still open. There was such terror in them, as if she had faced something horrific. Maybe there was a demon that had awakened, something beyond human understanding. Now the three somehow reach the pod room, but everyone is disappointed because there was not a single escape pod there. Only Captain Lucian was standing in the pod room. The captain says that the door of the pod room was not opening. Nora somehow opens the door by fixing the panel from outside. The captain orders Paul and Smith to go check the submersible room. Nora tells him the research base is almost completely destroyed. Only a few parts are left, and the base will not be able to bear any more shock. "What the hell is going on? Was it really an earthquake?" Nora asks. The captain says even he does not know how the base was damaged so badly. Nora asks why they are not leaving in the escape pod. The captain says he cannot leave the remaining crew behind. He tells them that he had sent 22 people to the lower floor, and it has been confirmed that 7 people died on the base. The captain sends Nora to the control room, where Emily and Smith were already present. These two were trying to get help by contacting the outside world, but no contact had been made so far. Continuous tremors were felt. No one knew what kind of power had destroyed the base like this. Nora checks the system and tells everyone that all the floors and cooling towers above the base have been destroyed, and the core of the base has become completely unstable. Hearing this makes everyone's heart sink, because the core supplied power to the entire base. And the core's instability meant it could explode at any time. And the explosion would be so powerful that the entire base would turn into ashes. All the escape pods were already broken. Now they had no way out. The captain tells everyone a plan. He says they will go to the deepest part of the base where drilling was being done, because it is the safest place at the moment. But Paul says that place is 1.5 kilometers away. How will they reach there? They don't even finish the conversation when Smith receives the last transmission from the drill site. The transmission is filled with terrible screams and the roar of a dangerous creature. Suddenly, the control room starts shaking again, as if something huge is trying to break the station in the darkness outside. Paul says in a frightened voice that they shouldn't have dug so deep. Maybe they have made a big mistake. Now everyone wears their heavy underwater suits. These suits were made with special techniques that protect them from the extreme water pressure. They all descend into the depths of the sea with the suits. But suddenly, Rodrigo's helmet makes a loud crack, and in the next moment, his entire body bursts from the inside. Rodrigo dies a painful death. Nora stands at the edge of a part of the base and looks at the endless black sea. It was pitch black there. This sight was more frightening than the silence of space. Nora and the rest of the crew jump down from the cargo lift and somehow enter it. After losing one of their companions, everyone is in shock. The captain encourages everyone to leave the base as soon as possible. The base can explode at any time. With this, the lift starts descending rapidly toward the deeper parts of the sea. Then, on the lift's screen, they receive a help signal from a port below. The captain stops the lift and sends Paul and Smith to save the crew who sent the signal. Both get into the water wearing their underwater suits. It was so dark outside that the suits' lights were almost useless. Both move forward, asking for directions. That's when Smith senses someone's presence in the pitch-black darkness, and both freeze in fear. Somehow they find the port, and when they reach it, they see the whole port is covered in a strange, sticky layer. They had never seen such a thing before. When they check the port, no one is present. When they look around, they see the dead body of the same companion. Frightened, Nora tells the captain they should go back. The captain orders both to come inside immediately, but both freeze when they see the dead body. Something was moving inside the body's back. They stare at it when suddenly something bursts out of its back like lightning and attacks Paul. But Smith somehow kills the creature, and both pick it up and return to the lift. Paul tells them this creature was eating the dead body. Emily checks the creature. Its tentacles have pointed nails like claws. Emily says it's possible that they opened a hot thermal pocket and there was already a creature living there, and their drilling disturbed it. Emily says this much when suddenly the entire lift's lights go out. The lift was still 200 meters above sea level. Nora kneels and tries to start the system again. Then a strange silence spreads in the sea. Everyone stops breathing inside the lift. The next moment, a terrifying force attacks the lift from outside, and a deep sound of a huge creature is heard. Then Paul looks at the creature on the table and says, "Is this its mother outside?" Maybe they have made a big mistake. The lift keeps moving, and everyone stands quietly. It was so silent that even their heartbeat could be heard. As soon as the captain throws a torch toward the roof of the lift, a huge creature attacks the window. And outside, something like a human figure can be seen, which freezes everyone's breath. The next moment, a very fast explosion occurs outside the lift. A bright light spreads everywhere, as if the sun has suddenly risen in the depths of the sea. The thick cables of the lift break due to the explosion's shock, and the lift starts falling at full speed. Before colliding with the sea floor, they must open the hatch of the lift and get out. Otherwise, everyone will die instantly. Everyone quickly puts on their helmets and jumps out of the lift at the right time. But another problem begins. Due to the explosion, heavy metal from the base starts raining down on them. Everyone tries to protect each other and quickly reaches the door of the drilling chamber. In the surrounding darkness, some unknown shadows begin to appear. They look like humans, but they were not human. They were something else, something these people never wanted to awaken. The door of the drilling chamber was also not opening, as if it were completely stuck. Still, they managed to open it and enter inside. Now everyone believes that something is definitely alive out there. Then a heavy sound is heard from above. The captain says that a huge structure is falling outside. Now they pass through the tunnels and move toward the center. There was deep darkness in the tunnel. It felt like someone was secretly watching them. After going further into the tunnel, they now move forward on foot. Then they hear the growl of a big creature, and everyone stops breathing. As they move forward in the narrow tunnel, the water becomes deeper. After reaching a turn, The road ahead is completely blocked with debris. Nora says she will swim from below. She secures her helmet tightly and swims through the water, reaching the other side. Then she signals everyone else to follow. One by one, everyone reaches the other side. Now only Paul remains. That's when Paul realizes that someone is behind him in the water. As soon as he turns around, something slips through the water. Paul doesn't respond, even when the captain calls him repeatedly. Fear is clearly visible on everyone's faces. Everyone pulls the cable attached to Paul's suit tightly. After a few moments, Paul reaches the other side. Everyone takes a deep breath. But the next moment, an unseen force pulls the cable attached to Paul's suit from the other side. Paul panics and screams. Everyone tries to cut the cable, but it's too late. In an instant, one of Paul's legs is torn from his body and his helmet fills with blood. Paul dies a painful death. Everyone flees in terror. After a while, the captain tries to contact the outside world through the radio, but there is no response. After Paul's death, everyone is in shock. One by one, everyone was being killed by an unseen force. Now they were all in a control room from where they could see outside. A huge mining drill was completely destroyed. Smith says, "This is a 6,000-ton drill. How can it be destroyed so badly?" Emily shivers and says, "It's all our fault. We dug into the land of the sea, and now the sea is taking revenge. We shouldn't have come here." The captain explains that they cannot stay here long, but Smith says his suit is damaged. He won't be able to bear the pressure anymore. "Everyone should leave me. Otherwise, you will also die because of me," Smith says. But the captain calms him down. His suit is somehow fixed. Then everyone takes him through the water towards the drilling site. Where the escape pods were present, darkness surrounded everything. Nora realizes someone is behind her. She checks with her torch, but nothing is visible. They all move forward, but Nora's anxiety increases. She stops and looks around as if someone is trying to touch her. Suddenly, a very dangerous creature passes near Nora. Its arms were unnaturally long. Everyone is terrified. They look around in the darkness. The captain immediately orders everyone to switch off the lights on their suits. Then a huge creature appears behind Nora, but the next moment, it vanishes into the dark. Meanwhile, Smith is nowhere to be seen. Everyone starts looking for him. Then Nora sees something pulling Smith away in the distance. Nora quickly follows. The creature drags Smith into a deep cave. The captain immediately enters the cave. After going inside for a while, the captain finds Smith alive. He pulls him out, but Smith had dropped his gun inside. The captain goes back into the cave to retrieve it. As soon as he picks it up and steps forward, a huge creature suddenly appears and pulls the captain upward. Due to an entangled cable, the creature also pulls Nora up. Both struggle in the water and get stuck on a large platform. The captain was hanging on the edge. Nora moves toward him and pulls him up. The captain is terrified. Then he sees the same creature. This creature was so enormous that it seemed like it belonged to another world. It opens its giant mouth and pulls Nora's helmet inside. The captain uses all his strength and attacks the creature with his knife. The creature writhes in pain and pulls both of them upward at high speed. With this speed, the pressure of the water increases so much that their suits could burst at any moment. The captain tells Nora to cut the cable, or else she will also die. But Nora refuses. The captain detaches the cable himself. As soon as Nora separates, the captain's suit explodes from the pressure and his body shatters into pieces. Nora falls down and somehow reaches a different part of the base. This part was deserted and abandoned. Nora enters the base. Now she is completely broken. Smith and Emily are nowhere to be found. Nora tries to contact them on the radio, but there is no response. Nora repairs an old suit using the tools and gets back into the water wearing it. She starts looking for both of them. Then she hears Emily's voice on the radio, but Emily cannot hear her. Emily is talking nonsense as if her mind is not working properly. That's when Nora sees a dim light from Emily's suit in the distance. Nora rushes there. Emily drags Smith along as Smith was seriously injured. Nora calms Emily down and both pull Smith forward in the darkness. There was a lot of uneasiness around them. Every moment it felt like a shadow was watching them. After walking for a long time and losing many companions, they finally reach the drill site. They breathe a sigh of relief, but it doesn't last long. There was a bridge leading to the main door of the drill site, and when they step on that bridge, their blood turns cold. The entire bridge was covered with thousands of creatures sleeping soundly. To reach the main gate, they had to pass dangerously close to them, and if even one creature sensed them, thousands would tear them apart alive. They walk very carefully when suddenly one creature wakes up and attacks Nora. Nora shouts at Emily to run, and the creature opens its huge mouth and swallows Nora whole. Nora shows courage and shoots the creature from inside. In an instant, the creature dies screaming. Nora comes out of its heavy body, but now all the other creatures around her start waking up. Nora reloads her gun, and suddenly the platform from which hundreds of creatures were hanging disappears into the dark water. Then Nora sees a massive shadow covering the drilling site building. Nora shoots at the shadow, and what she sees makes her breath stop. In front of her was a monstrous sea giant so huge that even a 50-story building looked like a toy in comparison. Nora runs towards the main gate, but the monster attacks the bridge with its giant limbs. The attack is so powerful, it feels like a nuclear explosion underwater. Nora is thrown away by the shock and loses consciousness. In the next moment, Emily pulls Nora into the main gate and closes it quickly. Now Smith, Nora, and Emily have somehow managed to get inside, but the danger was not over. That giant monster begins crushing the entire drill site structure. They somehow reach the pod room. There were 3 pods. Nora quickly checks. Out of the 3, only 2 were functional. Nora and Emily first send Smith to the surface in one pod. Now Nora tells Emily to sit in the second pod, but Emily understands that Nora's pod is broken. She refuses to go, but Nora stops her and says, "You have a whole life with Smith, so you go." Emily cries and says, "You have to come up. I will wait for you." Saying this, Nora launches Emily's pod. Now Nora is the only one left in the base. That's when small creatures start attacking the pod room. Nora looks at the system and sees thousands of small creatures chasing Smith and Emily's pods. Nora takes a deep breath and manually overloads the base's power core. After a few seconds of countdown, a massive explosion occurs. The explosion is so powerful that even the giant monster cannot escape. Along with it, all the small creatures burn to death. Nora sacrifices herself to save 2 lives. On the surface, the news reports that 2 survivors were rescued from the drilling site. With this, the story ends here. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.